from the power system security, that is introduction to power system security. There we have understood what is the what is the meaning of power system security. Okay, and in the second video we have discussed system state classifications. Okay, so in this lecture, or in this video lecture, we are going to discuss power system operating states. Okay, so let us start our discussion. A classification of operating states was first proposed by Fink and Carlson in 1978. The system is said to be normal. See, there are three conditions. If your system is in normal state, then it is having the three characteristics as all the loads are met. Whatever load is there, we are supplying that load. So this will be the first condition for a normal operating state. Second is the frequency and bus voltage magnitude are within the prescribed limit. As we know, the frequency of the system is never be a constant, as our load is changing. Because of change in load, frequency keep on changing. So we maintain the frequency within some prescribed limit. So what is expected, if you want your power system to operate under normal condition, then its frequency should be in the prescribed limit. Again, voltage magnitude, as we know, the magnitude of voltage varies because of the reactive power. So we have to maintain these two parameters, that is frequency and voltage, within the prescribed limit. And the third part is no component of power system are overloaded. Okay, so whatever components are there in your power system, let's say generator is there, if transformer is there, or I can say any transmission line is there, so these components should be loaded with their ratings. They should not be in overload condition. Okay, so if you want to operate the system in normal state, then it should satisfy, or it should have these three characteristics, or these 3 points should be met. What is these 3 points? First is load should be made. Whatever load is there, we should supply that load. Second is frequency and voltage magnitude should be in the prescribed limit. And third part is no component of power system are overloaded. Okay, for more than 99% of the time, a typical power system is found to be in normal state. In this state, as we have discussed, the frequency and bus voltage are kept at a prescribed values. In third topic, we have discussed regarding load frequency controlling. There we have learned that system frequency should be kept near to 50 Hertz. There is a variation of plus or minus 0.5%. Or if we consider a modern power system, in modern power system, we keep frequency as 50 Hertz and tolerance of plus or minus 0.25% is prescribed. Okay, so in more than 99% cases, a typical power system is found to be in its normal state. It means that whatever power system is there, that system is supplying load as well as frequency and bus voltage magnitude are within prescribed limit, and all the components, they are loaded with their ratings. Okay, so the equality between generation and the demand is the fundamental prerequisite for the system normalcy, and is indicated by the symbol E. See, this symbol E, we are referring it as a equality constraint. So what is mentioned here, the equality between generation and demand is a fundamental prerequisite for system normalcy, and is indicated by a symbol E, and this symbol we are referring it as equality constraint. That is, power is balanced and flow equations are satisfied, and as power balance is there, whatever demand is there, as per the demand, if we generate the electricity, so we don't have problem with the frequency will be within the prescribed limit. So what is mentioned here, that is power balanced and the flow equations are satisfied, and frequency and voltage constancy is observed. It means that if we keep this, if we consider this equality constraint, so what it means, power will be balanced, means whatever demand is there, generation will be that much generation will be there, and again flow equation, power flowing through components will be satisfied, and again frequency and voltage magnitude will be within the prescribed limits. Okay, so the first constraint that we have discussed here is capital E, and this is referred to as equality constraint. Okay, the second part is second symbol, that is I, indicate that certain inequality must also be observed in the normal state. Now what is this equality constraint, what is this inequality constraint? If you have learned unit 1 and unit 2, then this point will be clear to you, what is equality constraint and what is inequality constraint. This point we have discussed in chapter 1 and chapter 2. See, whatever load is there, we should generate that much electricity. So here what I can say, demand is equal to generation. So this constraint I can say that equality constraint. So there is an equal symbol or equal sign between demand and generation. That is why this constraint is referred to as equality constraint. Now how to understand, what example we can consider for inequality constraint? See, if you have one generator, that generator will have its maximum generation and minimum generation limit. Okay, so whatever generator you are connected in the system, that generator, it should generate, or the output of that generator should be within its maximum and minimum generation limit. So this is referred to as inequality constraint. If you recall that equation, there we have written that P minimum is P out is P max. Okay, so this equation we can consider this as inequality constraint. Okay, so this is an example of inequality constraint. Inequality constraint refer to the rated operating limit of the generator and transformer. See, inequality constraint we are referring, or we are using it for generator and transformer. As we have discussed just now, your generator will have maximum and minimum generation limit. So what is expected, output of the generator should be within that limit. And again, transformer, the transformer, we can again we are going to load the transformer, na? So the transformer will again, it will have some limits. So loading on the transformer must be within that limit. Load must not exceed the rated values, and the transmission line must not be loaded above their normal and static stability limit. Okay, so this point is related to inequality constraint. Inequality constraint, we saw that power will be balanced, means whatever demand is there, that much generation should be there. So this is we can refer this as equality constraint. And the second point, that is inequality constraint, this we can refer to as simply loading of a component of your power system. Those component may be a generator, it may be a transformer, it may be a transmission line. So these components should be loaded to their limits. Generator should not We should not load the generator beyond its maximum generation or less than its minimum generation. We should keep the components loaded to their ratings only. Okay. The next point, the subscript V refer to constraint violation. Now we have understood what is constraint, and further what is equality constraint and what is inequality constraint. Now to this E, that is equality constraint, if I write a subscript as V, then it will refer to as violation in this constraint. If my equality constraints are violating, then in that case I will refer this as EV. Suppose initially or at some instant there was a demand of 100 megawatt, and as per that demand we are generating 100 megawatt. Okay, suppose suddenly load decreases from 100 megawatt. If it comes down to say 60 megawatt, so my generator they are continue to generating 100 megawatt. Okay, and what is happening, my load is now decreased to 60 megawatt. So what do you think, whether power will be balanced here, because generation is 100 megawatt and load is 60 megawatt? So I can say that here is violation in my equality constraint. Okay, so this violation, how we are going to indicate? We are going to indicate with adding one subscript as V. Same way, if some violation is there in the inequality constraint, so we can indicate this as I subscript V. This V is indicating violation in inequality constraint. What is the meaning of this? If suppose your transmission line is rated to carry some amount of power, and if suppose power carried by transmission line, if it exceed beyond its limit, so what is the meaning of this? Transmission line is loaded above its limits, so we can refer this as violation in the inequality constraint. Same way we can refer this as if suppose one generator is there and it is having some maximum generation capacity as, let's say, 10 megawatt, and we are taking 12 megawatt from that generator. It means there is violation in inequality constraint, and this violation will denote with the help of this I subscript V. Okay, I hope this point is clear to you. We are discussing power system operating state. Okay, so we started with, it was first proposed by Fink and Carlson in 1978, and after that we have discussed the three parameters or 3 points which is essential to say any power system is operating at normal state. What are those 3 points? First is load must be met. Whatever load is there, we must supply that load. Frequency and bus voltage, they must be in prescribed limit, and all the components connected in that system must not be overloaded. Okay, after that we have discussed what is equality constraint and how to indicate it. We are going to indicate equality constraint with a symbol capital E, and second, inequality constraint, we are going to denote this inequality constraint with the symbol capital I. What is this equality constraint? What is this inequality constraint? We have discussed just now, and we furthermore we are using one subscript small v to indicate violation in those constraints. Okay, let us move ahead. Okay friends, now refer to this diagram to understand the operating states of a power system. In this diagram, different operating states of a power systems are shown. If you can see here, normal state is given here. Again, emergency state is there, cascade state is there, restorative state is there. Okay, we are going to discuss these states one by one. Now let us begin with a normal state. This normal state is denoted here with this dotted line. Okay. Now before going to discuss this figure, let me add one point here. This transition due to control action is shown with this dotted line. If I am doing some controlling action, then that transition, if I am trying to bring the system from insecure state to secure state with some controlling action, then that transition is shown with the help of dotted line. If suppose transition is because of some disturbance, then that transition is shown with this thick line. Okay, so I hope this point is clear to you. Now let us start discussing this figure. If system suffer any event, that is a reduction in the security level. If I say reduction in security level, or if I say that sudden increase in the load, then what will happen? My system, which was there previously in secure normal state, now because of this disturbance it will switch to insecure normal state. If you see here, in both these states, this equality constraint and inequality constraint both are not violating. Now you may get a question that as load is increasing, or I say demand is increasing, then how my equality constraint is not going to violate? Is it? See, there is a possibility. Suppose let us take one example to clarify this point. If suppose some demand, previously it was, let's say it was 100 megawatt, and now it increased to 120 megawatt. There is a increase in the demand, and as we know, some number of generators will be there connected to supply this 120 megawatt or 100 megawatt. Now it is increased to 120. Let us consider we have to supply this 120 megawatt. As we know, some spinning reserves are there connected in the system, so it is possible to supply this sudden increase in the load if we have ample of spinning reserve with us. So that is why here in this state or in this condition, my equality constraint, that is E, and this inequality constraint, that is I, both are not violating. Okay, so again I want my system to continue operating in normal secure normal state. Now because of increase in the load, my system has switched to insecure normal state. Now I want my system to get back to secure normal state. So I can switch my system to in secure normal state with the help of some preventive controlling action. And this preventive controlling action, it is taken by system operator. Okay, it may be either you can say preventive controlling action, it may be either rescheduling of generator. Okay, so this is how system may go from secure normal state to insecure normal state, and this is how we can bring back our system from insecure normal state to secure normal state. Okay, furthermore, if suppose my system is in insecure normal state and further some more disturbances occur, if some additional disturbance occur, then there is a possibility that my system will go into emergency state. Or suppose if your system is operating in secure normal state and some grievous disturbances occur, that grievous disturbance, it may be either tripping of tie line or loss of additional generator. So there is a possibility that my system from insecure normal state or from secure normal state, it will go to emergency state, depending on nature of disturbance. Okay, now again I want my system which is now in emergency state. You can see here in emergency state, equality constraints are not violated, only inequality constraints are violating. How is this possible? Again, you can see here, suppose just now I said that grievous disturbance. Example for grievous disturbance, we have taken that tripping of tie line or loss of an additional generator. If suppose some 10 number of generators we are using, and if suppose out of this 10 number of generator, one of the generator failed, so there will be 9 generators supplying the load. Okay, and again if suppose one more generator failed, additional generator if we lose, then there will be 8 number of generators supplying the load. Okay, still if suppose this 8 number of generator, if they are capable to supply my demand, then I can say my power is still power equation means demand is equal to generation. Then in that case I can say that my equality constraint are not violated. But what is happening here, previously when 10 number of generators are there, loading on that generator was as per their rating. Now because of loss of these 2 generators, loading on the generator is increased. So with this increase in loading, I can say that my inequality constraints are violated. Okay, now I want to bring back my system from emergency state to again normal state. And to bring the system from emergency state to normal state, we have to apply some corrective controls. And what that corrective controls will be, you have to go for generator rescheduling. Okay, so with the help of again generator rescheduling, that is one type of corrective control, we can bring back our system to normal operating state. Okay, now next, if suppose if this corrective control, if it is not possible, this corrective control, if this corrective control is not possible, then what will happen, my system from emergency state, it will go to cascade state. If suppose this corrective control, if it is not possible, then my system will further go to from emergency state, it will go to cascade state. What is this cascade state? In cascade means one after another component which goes on losing the components one after another. Suppose generators are failing, as we just considered 10 number of generators was there initially. Because of disturbance we lost one generator, again further we lost one more generator. If suppose we lost the tie line between the two states, then such failures, if they are coming one after another, then that state is referred to as cascade state. Okay, here you can see that both the constraint, that is equality constraint and inequality constraint, both the constraints are violating here. Okay, now at this stage it is still possible to bring back the state to emergency state, and from this emergency state we can go to normal state. Now here, to bring back the state from cascade to normal, I want to apply some emergency control. So again this emergency control, it could be a rescheduling of generator or load shedding. We have to lose some load, we have to disconnect some load. That is one type of emergency control. Okay, if suppose even if this emergency control, if it is not possible, or if we could not restore our system from cascade to emergency state with the help of emergency control, so what will happen, our system will go into restorative state. Here in restorative state, our whole system will break up into islands, or I can say number of small states. Here that each state will be operating at its own frequency and at its own voltage level. Suppose if I take an example of, let us take an example of Maharashtra as one system, one grid, and let us say districts, whatever number of districts are there, those are the states. They are all these districts power network, they are connected to each other with one common grid. That we common grid line, let us refer that as a tie line between two districts. Okay, if the power system of Maharashtra, if it goes in cascading state, so there is a possibility that my complete power system may break up into islands, means district wise, that those tie lines was there now between two districts, those tie line will now trip, so individual district will be operating as an island at their own frequency and at their own voltage level. So there is a possibility that complete system may get collapse, and there is a possibility that system will have blackout, complete blackout will be there. And again, in this restorative state, if we see your equality constraints are violating, but inequality constraints are not violated, because whatever demand is there, there is a possibility that we could not be able to supply that demand. Okay, why? Because of those tie line sharing or exchange of power was possible. If suppose Solapur district, if suppose there is a demand of 10 megawatt, and in Solapur district if we are generating only 6 megawatt, so if tie line is there between two districts, if suppose our neighboring districts Usmanabad is there, if suppose that Usmanabad, if in that district some excess generation is there, with the help of that tie line we are exchanging that excess generation. If that tie line breaks, what will happen? Your equality constraint, definitely it is going to violate. Okay, so when your system goes into restorative state, your complete blackout will be there, and to bring back the system into normal operating state from restorative mode, if you want to bring back the system to normal operating state, you have to apply restorative control. What this restorative control refer as? A series of resynchronization control are required to start the generator and gradually pick up the loads. Means we have to start generators one by one, and we have to synchronize those all generators, and we have to gradually pick up the load. And this process is a long process. Okay.